Their season underway, finally. The pandemic has loosened up its grip just enough for the Board of Control of the KHSAA to say, play ball. And so here we are tonight, the Bread's first game, but it's going to be a tough one as they'll be taking on the defending 10th Region champions, the Cardinals of Clark County, who have a bevy of players back from that championship team from last year. Also tonight, a new era begins in Harrison County High School basketball as Terrence Brooks from over at Paris is the new coach, and he'll be coaching his first game as the head man of the Thoroughbreds. He's brought a lot of excitement with him, a lot of discipline, a lot of fundamentals, and what we're going to see more than we've seen in a long time, lots and lots of tough, hard-nosed defense. I cannot wait. This team has size, they've got depth, and they have a talented freshman class that is really pushing the older kids. So everything positive about this year's team. But like I said, it's going to be a good test here in the very get-go as we take on the Clark County Cardinals. Unfortunately, in the first game, the JV game, our junior varsity fell to the Clark County JV squad 40-23. So hopefully the varsity can pick that loss up and get a split of this JV varsity doubleheader. Right now, both teams are out on the floor going through some pregame paces. We invite you to stay tuned as we'll come back and take a closer look at both Harrison County and Clark County. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports.
Delivery.
Alrighty, back here in the Hilltop, the Breads and the Cardinals about 13 minutes away from getting this contest started. Well, as we said, Clark County, the defending 10th Region champion, a lot of players back from that team that felt like they were shortchanged just a bit, as did 15 other teams, and that the Sweet 16 was called off because of the virus. But they've got just enough players that they think they can make a good run at a second consecutive regional crown. They have 3 starters back, including 2 of the top 4 players in the 10th Region, in junior guard Jerome Morton and senior forward Jared Wellman. Morton is rated behind only Robertson County's Justin Becker as the second best player in the 10th Region. Last year he averaged 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, so a very complete player is Mr. Morton. Jared Wellman, meanwhile, a 3-year starter who last season averaged 15.5 points and 5 rebounds per game. He also poured in 82 three-pointers. He has scored over 1,500 points as a Cardinal after transferring up here from Lawrence County between his freshman and sophomore seasons. Pretty much Clark County, the consensus preseason pick to repeat as the 10th Region champions. Last night in their opener, they blew out Paris High School 89-28. Morton in that game scored 23. Junior forward Trent Edwards had a double-double with a career-high 21 points, while he also grabbed 12 rebounds. Now, the one Achilles heel that the Cardinals will have this year, except for Wellman, they really don't have any three-point shooters, and it really showed up last night over at Paris as the Cardinals hit only 2 out of 21 shots from beyond the arc. However, they dominated the glass over the much smaller Paris squad, out-rebounding the Greyhounds 43-15. Meanwhile, Harrison County transition to the Brooks style of play has been positive. As we said, there's been more discipline and structure than has been the case the last few years. The Breads do have 3 starters back from last season: senior guard Clay Carpenter, senior forward Richard Harris, and freshman point guard Caden Custard. Clay was the leading returning scorer from last year as he averaged 10 points a game. Meanwhile, Harris, an exciting player inside, he's been a little bit hindered by some knee issues and really has not gotten to practice a whole lot so far. But as I said, when he is healthy, he can contribute both scoring-wise and rebounding. Meanwhile, Custard, for a freshman, last year as an 8th grader, and as the quarterback of the football team, the kid has so much poise at that age, it's unbelievable. He averaged 8 points a game last year, and really, for all intent and purposes, steadies the ship, as it were, in case things get a little bit out of hand. He knows how to calm his team down. Senior Ian Bolin improved a lot over the offseason, but he won't play either tonight, as he'll be out for this game because of a shoulder separation a little while ago. Meanwhile, after playing just 8 games last season, sophomore J.D. Kendall is poised to have a breakout season this year. I think he'll do well, especially now that he is 6'5". The Reds also have excellent size inside in junior Blaine Biddle and 6'11" sophomore Will Furnish. Reds will utilize their speed and quickness, their perimeter shooting, and those bigs inside to establish an inside presence. And for all intent and purposes, golly, when you got a 6'11" center, you're going to contest just about every shot at the rim. And the Reds, because of their size inside, should be just absolute monsters on the offensive and defensive boards. But that will be really tested tonight by a rather tall Clark County squad. It's going to be a fun team to watch as they develop throughout the regular season. Joined now by Mike Aldridge. And Mike, as far as the community is concerned and people I've talked to around the program and asked me about stuff, there's more excitement about this year's team than I've seen in quite some time.
Well, like you said, the freshman class, this year's freshman class, last year's 8th graders, has a lot of anticipation on the hilltop. Now, of course, they're a ways away,
right,
except for Caden. But last year our team improved at the end and really had a shot to beat Pendleton in their district and just a few baskets didn't fall. So there's, like I say, there's a lot of anticipation. JD's back. Hopefully we'll stay healthy.
Yes.
And we got to get over Richard and Ian being hurt to
right.
start with. But we got to. Coach Brooks has a lot of guys that can play, and he'll play a lot of them.
Yes.
Because they got to be in shape to play because he's going to play hard. They're going to. Well, Coach Brooks won't, but they'll play hard for him, or they'll be sitting by him.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how. Of course, we're starting off maybe the best team in the Daggone region.
Well, going to have to face them sometime, so might
so
as well go ahead and get it off the bat.
Here we go. But it'll be interesting to see, especially, of course, they'll probably think things are going to go pretty easy as bad as they beat Paris last time.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Of course, one of the good things, if there is such a good thing for a 5-25 season, is that a lot of kids got a chance to show that they could play last year, so depth will not be an issue for this year's team.
No, I think that we saw in the JV game that it's going to be difficult to play everybody.
Right.
And I think that maybe Andrew Case, the JV coach, was kind of up against the tough one there, of course, first game. But trying to play 10 guys, it just doesn't work. You got to play. You got to find your 6 or 7 that can play together. And that doesn't mean one of the other kids isn't a good player. It just means that you got to blend in with the rest of them.
Right. So
we'll see what happens. We've got several guys. I think the first 2 or 3 games we'll see. Expect a lot of different lineups.
Yes.
And of course, like I said, we haven't been to practice, so we don't know all that. But I'm sure that it'll be an exciting brand of basketball, and it's just too daggone bad that everybody can't come up here and watch it.
Right, yeah, and it's a very good crowd. I think that the capacity for the limited seating was about 450 or something like that. I think we got every bit of that here tonight.
We're real close if not, because there's several people from Clark County
here.
Yeah. So, and of course we have the YouTube, the video on live streaming on YouTube. You can get that on YouTube through WCYN.
Right.
And so the next best thing to being here.
That's right.
Is watch it on YouTube and listen to us.
Yeah, I just have to make sure I get my lefts and rights right.
That's right. Well, you know, on your radio dial.
There you go. Left to right on your radio dial. You got it right.
Yeah.
All right, both teams have gone back to their respective locker rooms to get some final words of wisdom from their respective coaching staffs. So what we'll do right now is take a break, come back, and take a look at the starting lineups of tonight's game between the Breads and the Cardinals. You're listening to Harrison County Basketball on WCYN Sports. All righty, back here at the Hilltop, let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for Clark County, 1-0 on the season. As we mentioned before, they beat Paris to death last night, 89-28. At a guard, a 6'4 junior, number 11, Jerome Morton, one of the best couple of players in the 10th region. He had 23 in the win over the Greyhounds last night. At another guard is Aiden Sloan. Sloan wears the number 4. He's a 5'9 junior who had 4 points in the win yesterday. At a forward, a 6'7 junior, number 13, Trent Edwards. Edwards a double-double over the Greyhounds last night with a career-high 21 points and 12 rebounds. Another forward is manned by Jared Wellman, who we mentioned before, a top 5 player in the 10th region. He's a 6'3 senior who wears the number 15 and had 19 points, including 2 for 4 from beyond the arc in that game against Paris yesterday. And the fifth starter, another forward, a 6'5 junior who wears the number 20, Stanley Smothers. Smothers had just a couple of points against the Greyhounds last night. So once again for Clark, it'll be Morton, Sloan, Edwards, Wellman, and Smothers. Now the Harrison County Thoroughbreds. At a guard, a 6-foot freshman, number 1, Caden Custard. Another guard is manned by J.D. Sword. He's a 6'1 senior who wears the number 11. A third guard, Clay Carpenter, the leading scorer returning from last year's team. Clay, a 6'1 senior who wears the number 24. At the forward, a 6'5 sophomore, number 21, J.D. Kendall. And in the middle, a 6'11 sophomore, Will Furnish, who wears the number 44, and he could be a dominating force inside as he develops throughout the season. So once again for the Thoroughbreds, it'll be Custard, Sword, Carpenter, Kendall, and Furnish. So there are your starting fives for the two teams that will be playing here in just a couple of minutes. While we have this opportunity, though, let's send it back to the station to Bruce Templeton from Unity Christian Church with tonight's pregame prayer. Alrighty, back up here on the hilltop. We're about a minute away from the colors being presented by the Harrison County AFJROTC and, of course, our national anthem. This will be the 98th time that Harrison County, actually this will be the 99th time, that Harrison County and Clark County got together. Clark County leads the all-time series 66-32 and have won the last 5 games in a row going back to January of 2015. Here on the hilltop, they own a 26-13 edge over the Thoroughbreds. Last year, the two teams got together once, that being over in Winchester, a game that was won by the Cardinals 89-74. The last time the two teams played here on the hilltop was 2 years ago, a game that Harrison stayed close with the Cardinals for most of the game, but ended up falling 70-65. So there's a little bit of the history between these two schools, a series that began back in November of 1953. So we've been playing these guys for a long time. As I said, the 99th time the Reds and the Cardinals have gotten together in boys basketball. All right, as we said, the colors being presented by the Harrison County AFJROTC. So what we're going to do is take a listen to that, after which we'll take a break and then come back for the tip-off of tonight's game between Harrison and Clark. But right now, let's bring you our national anthem. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Next number, we sell paint, lumber, plywood, roofing, nails, etc., etc., etc. You know the drill. We don't have everything, only 4,000 plus items.
Top, we are just moments away from the start of this game. It appears as though that the Harrison County Thoroughbreds won the toss, and so they will go ahead and have the ball to get things started. Harrison County 0-0, Clark County 1-0 here in the very early season, only the second day the games have been played across the Commonwealth. As far as I could tell, there were no games canceled because of the virus last night, so that's a good thing. So hopefully that'll be the case more often than not. All right, J.D. Kendall inbounds the ball to Caden Custard as we get things underway here. Pass to the right side to Carpenter in front of the Clark County bench. Looks inside, nothing there, to the top of the key to Furnish, who pops up. Sword down low, finds Carpenter, who lays it in. Give the assist to Sword, the points to Clay, and Harrison County takes the early 2-0 lead. Nice pass that time from Sword to Carpenter. Up top with the basketball is Morton, goes into the paint, floats a 12-footer that's way off the mark, and Sword comes down with the rebound. In the front court, JD goes to the block, an off-balance shot is going to miss. Rebound pulled down by Morton, and here we have the other way. On the left side, Wellman, an open three-point try, good. So Wellman makes his presence known early as he gives his team the early 3-2 lead. 7:11 left in this first quarter of play. Into the front court with the basketball come the Thoroughbreds. In the corner, Sword fires a three, no good off the mark, just barely. Rebound pulled down this time by Edwards. Edwards brings the ball down himself, floats one up in the lane from about 5 feet away. It's no good, and we're going to have a travel call as well. So give the ball to Harrison. Full court pressure, 1-2-1-1 by Clark County. Kendall looking to get the ball inbounds. His team down by 1, finds Carpenter. Floats it inside, stolen by Edwards, but misses the layup. Gets his own rebound, though, and puts it back up and in. And the Cardinals have gone up now 5-2. 6:41 left in this first quarter of play.
Can't throw those lazy passes.
No, they can't. Custard races to the baseline, misses the shot. Furnish there for the offensive rebound and putback. It's no good. Now coming down with the rebound will be Smothers. Clark County in the front court. That's Wellman in between the circles. Drifts over in front of the Harrison County bench where he'll hand it off to Morton. Morton crossover dribble, dings it down to the block. In the paint, a wide open Smothers misses the shot, gets his own rebound. His putback is no good, but he's fouled. Foul is going to be assessed to Carpenter. That'll be Clay's first and the team's first as well, and that will send Mr. Smothers to the line. First free throws by Smothers this season. His first one is very short, no good. Second chance coming up here. Second free throw is also no good. Furnish comes down with the rebound. Up the floor come the Thoroughbreds. Kendall with it near the center circle, between the legs dribble. Gets it on the wing to Sword. JD from the left elbow. Gets it down on the block to Furnish. Furnish dumps it down low looking for Carpenter, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Clark County's Morton. Harrison will maintain possession.
Will needs to go up with that. He's right there with
Yeah. He's got to remember he's 6'11". If he goes up straight, nobody's going to touch that ball.
If Clay would have caught it, it'd been an awful hard shot.
Yes, it would have been because he was almost underneath the rim.
Yep.
Sword will inbounds it from his own baseline. Lobs it on the wing to Kendall. JD now to Carpenter. Carpenter looks around, picks up his dribble, now gets it inside the center circle to Custard. Caden goes down the paint and had the ball back tapped away from behind. They're going to say that Clark was the last ones to touch it. So Harrison will maintain possession. Clark County, as always, very athletic and very quick. And this year they've got some considerable size as well. Kendall from his own baseline, this side of the basket, finds Carpenter in the corner. Play between the legs dribble, almost lost it. Now takes it to the block. A floater's blocked out of there by Wellman. Rebound pulled down by Morton. Morton in the front court from the left elbow. Jump shot good. And the Cardinals have gone up 7-2. 5.5 left in this first quarter of play. In the front court, Kendall to the left side to Custard for three. Count it down. Give the assist. That was actually Sword with the assist. And Custard with the Killian's Pizza three-pointer. His first points of the night. And the Breads are back to within 2 at 7-5. Now we're going to have a foul. No, turnover, excuse me. So give the ball back to the Thoroughbreds.
I had a Killian's Pizza yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good as always, I'm
I
sure.
highly recommend it.
Kendall inbounds the ball to Custard, who gets it back to JD. Now a no-look pass to Carpenter in the front court to Sword. Sword races to the basket, layup good. Nice drive that time by Sword. And Harrison County has tied the score at 7-7. 4:56 left to go in this first quarter. Going to the basket is going to be Wellman. His shot's no good, but man, they pounded him down low. Foul's going to be called on Sword. Sword already a good line, a couple of points, a rebound, and a couple of assists. But Wellman will be at the line on the year, 5 for 7. The 4:50 mark of the first quarter, trying to break this 7-all tie. His first free throw bounces out. No good, but he will have another. Brez will be back in action on Thursday as they'll host Bluegrass United. That's a home school from down in Versailles. Second free throw is good by Wellman as the Cardinals will retake the lead at 8-7. A little pressure in the backcourt by the Cardinals. They knock it out of bounds. Harrison will maintain possession.
Edwards has some long arms there.
Yes,
to
he
pass
does.
around.
He's not just, I mean, he's a 6'7" guy with about 6'11" outreach. Sword gets the ball to Kendall. Kendall tries to pass the ball in the front court, but it's going to be kicked out of bounds. You need someone to protect your home, auto, and more like they are protecting the rim? That's when you call Dan Furnish. Call Dan with any questions about insurance coverage at 234-4514. That's 234-4514. Thank you, Dan Furnish. Ball in the front court. Carpenter finds Sword on a cross path. And now Kendall with the basketball in front of the Cardinal bench. Up top once again to Sword. He'll flip the ball to Custard inside the center circle, and Caden will reset the offense. Passes it to Kendall long range on the left side. JD goes to the top of the key. Thought about the three, now gets the ball to Furnish. Down on the block to Sword. His layup is no good. And Edwards down with his third board of this first quarter. In the front court quickly as a walk is going to be called on Clark County. It's actually Sloan. So give the ball back to the Breds. Down by one as we approach the midway point of this first quarter.
It's their third turnover. If they can do one a minute, that'd be fine.
I'll be good with that. Be much like last night's game.
Yes.
Carpenter into the front court. Goes down baseline, and as he does, he palms the ball, so a turnover. First sub of the game coming in for the Breds, Blaine Biddle, 6'3" junior. Will check in for Furnish. Cardinals with the basketball up by one. On the right side is Morton. He'll float a 10-footer that rolls in there. Nice shooter's touch that time by Jerome. And that will put his team up 10-7. Now a steal by Sloan off the pressure. Edwards right side 15-footer is an air ball. Rebound pulled down by Carpenter. Carpenter gives it to Kendall, who gets into the front court now to Custard. Caden from the right side for three. Off the flange, no good. Waiting in for the rebound is Wellman. And here come the Cardinals again. Morton in the corner finds Sloan. Up top to Wellman for a three-point try. Good. Can't leave Jared Wellman alone. He's too good at three-point shooter. He had 82 trays last year. And the Cardinals have gone up by a 6 spot, 13-7.
Sloan did a good job looking for Wellman there.
In the front court, Harrison breaks the press. Sword tries to get the ball to Biddle down low, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds, this time by Smothers. Couple of subs coming in for the Thoroughbreds as Gunnar Cole comes in. Where's number 10? Also checking in, Tayshawn Custard. Tayshawn, a 5'10" senior. Now Tayshawn is being beckoned by the official.
You got earrings in.
Oh, you can't be wearing earrings out there on the floor. You would have thought that Coach Brooks would have explained that to Tayshawn.
Well, I saw him in his ear. I thought it was something else when he was warming up.
Cole gets the ball to Sword inside the center circle now to Custard. Caden lobs the ball to the far side to Sword in the corner. Here's a three by Gunner. No good. Offside rebound picked up by Kendall. His putback is good. Nice job on the offensive glass that time by J.D. Kendall. Harrison County back to within 4 at 13-9. Yeah, there's a three fired up by Wellman, no good. Cole comes down with the rebound for the Breds. To Custard. In the corner finds Sword for a three. Good. I mean, that ball wasn't in JD's hands more than a split second. That's a Kellyan's Pizza three-pointer that gets the Breds back to within 1 at 13-12. And now we're going to have an offensive foul called on an illegal screen by Sloan. So
he used a forearm there.
Yeah, very illegal.
Yes. Oops.
So Kendall will inbounds the ball from inside his own bench area because of the spacing that the chairs that are needed here for
just about
social distancing.
Gym. As long as he's in the gym, he's in the bench area almost.
Kendall moves to the top of the key, now backs it up, gets it on the wing to Custard, fakes the three, goes baseline against Sloan, dropped the ball, and it goes out of bounds. I think he was going faster than the ball was that time. So up by 1 with 2:05 left to go in the first quarter. Cardinals. Wellman inbounds the ball to Sloan. Sloan races up the far sideline and into the front court, directing a little traffic as he does. Now to the top of the key to Edwards. Right side, long range Morton. Morton being tracked by Cole, but he gets around him into the rim. No weak side help that time by the Reds. Basket by Morton makes him have 6 points and puts his Cardinals up 15-12.
We have to go one-on-one with him with no help. We're in trouble.
Oh, yes. Kendall to Custard in the front court. And as he crosses the timeline, he's going to be fouled by Jeremiah Mundy, who's in the game. Mundy, a 6'1 junior, averaging 6 points a game. In the game now for Harrison, Braylon Hinton. Hinton, a 6'2 freshman. Long and lean. Also for Clark County, a substitution, Sammy Hernandez, a 6'2 junior, who had a couple of points against Paris. Also checking in Dylan Gibson, a 6'4 senior, who's a linebacker size, had 4 points against Paris last night. Also Carpenter will come in for J.D. Sword. Probably here in the early season, a lot of multiple substitutions as the kids get into better conditioning. Custard will bring the ball across the timeline in the middle of the floor. Tries a pass, it's going to be kicked this time by Hernandez. So Harrison will maintain possession. Just like the Breads and Phillies delivering 3-pointers, Kellyan's Pizza can deliver to you tonight. Call 298-2048 to place your order. Also available for pickup in the Bridge Street Plaza. Inbounds pass will come to Custard. Gets it in the front court to Hinton, who's in between the circles. He'll get it back to Caden. Custard in the corner. Will find Cole down on the block to Biddle. Triple team. The ball taken away from him by Morton. Morton brings the ball in the front court. Right side, Wellman for the open three try. Good. Third tray of the first quarter by Jared Wellman. And the Cardinals have gone back up by 6 points at 18-12. Just over a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Left side, Custard fakes the three, moves into the paint. A floater from 10 is going to bounce off. Rebound pulled in by Jeremiah Mundy. As he comes up the floor, we're going to have a foul called on Harrison County. Foul is going to be assessed to Gunnar Cole. That'll be Gunner's first. So just a common foul. Inbounds pass will come to Morton. His team up by 6. Top of the key, open for a three. The lefty misses it. Rebound pulled down, though, by the big man Gibson, who has his pocket picked. And up the floor come the Thoroughbreds. Cole dumps it down low to Carpenter, wide open, but misses the bunny. Gosh, you got to make them, Clay. Ball knocked out of bounds by Carpenter. So give the ball back to the Cardinals with 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, I'm sure Clay's kicking himself inside for missing that one. Up the far sideline comes Morton and into the front court. Moves to the top of the key. He'll get it to Wellman. Backs up for an NBA three try. No good, too long. Rebound pulled down by Biddle. Reds in the front court. That's Custard with 14 seconds left. Flies to the basket but misses the layup. That's 2 straight layups. Wellman with the rebound. Outlet pass on a run out into the front court is Mundy. Misses his own layup but gets his own rebound for the points. 20-12 the score, and now we're going to have a foul called with 1 second left. That foul is going to be called on the aforementioned Mundy. That's his second personal foul. That'll earn him a seat on the bench. Checking in Reed Johnson. Johnson, a 6'2 senior, who had 4 points off the bench against the Greyhounds last night in that 89-28 Clark County victory. Carpenter lobs to Sword. Sword, three-quarter court shot. No. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, your score, Clark County 20, Harrison County 12. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Back in the Hilltop, an 8-point advantage for the Clark County Cardinals, which is their largest of the game as we are about to head into the second quarter of play. Stay tuned to halftime for stats and a recap during the Fryman's Hilltop Grill halftime report. Coming into the second quarter, the Cardinals will have the basketball. We've had one tie and one lead change so far in the contest.
Both teams have 5 turnovers in the first quarter. Unfortunately, we're being out-rebounded 12-7.
Yikes. Yikes, 12-7. But they're good. Sloan with the basketball at the top of the key. Tayshawn Custard checks back in, now has no earrings. Sloan drifts to the right side, long range against Tayshawn's defense. Wellman on the baseline. Gets the ball in the hands of Morton. Fall away 12-footer, bounces off. Offside rebound, pulled down by Blaine Biddle. And here come the Breads. Custard with it, racing into the front court at the top of the key. Stops, now backs up near the center circle. Crossover dribble, hands it off to Kendall. JD comes to the right wing. Between the legs dribble himself. Picks up the dribble, gets it to Biddle on the right elbow. Blaine now in between the circles to JD to the far sideline to Custard. That's Tayshawn. I've got to remember, we got two, just like in football, two Custards out there.
That's right.
Tayshawn in the paint, a follow-away 10-footer, rolls off the rim, no good. Offensive rebound, though, pulled down by Carpenter. Over to the left side to Sword. JD, ball fake, goes into the paint, and as he does, he's going to be fouled by Wellman. That'll be Wellman's first personal foul, and we'll send Sword to the line. This will be the first free throws attempted on the night by the Thoroughbreds. Last year, JD was a 67% free throw shooter.
He'll be better than that tonight.
Oh, yeah. Leads the team with 5 points presently. At the 7:03 mark, his first free throw is good to give him an even 6 points and get his team back to within an uneven 7. Substitution for Clark County. Smothers returns as he'll come in for Gibson.
Gibson was a man in there. He was shoving, he was bodying everybody all over the place.
He's just a man-child. I'll bet he plays football.
I hope so.
Second free throw by Sword is good as well. And Harrison County is back to within a half a dozen at 20-14. In the front court quickly, the Cardinals on the right side. Sloan gets it back to the center circle to Wellman. To the left side in front of the Harrison County bench to Morton. Morton in the paint, splits the defense, gets around Biddle. Layup is going to roll in. 8 points for Jerome Morton. And the Cardinals have gone back up 22-14. 6:40 left to go in the first half. Kendall breaks the press as it comes across the timeline on the near side. Now picks up the dribble. Skip pass down low to Carpenter. His shot off the glass, no good. Rebound by Sword, who puts it back up and in. Good offensive board work that time by JD. Harrison back to within 6 again. That's 22-16. Now Sloan tries a no-look pass to Smothers. Smothers wasn't looking, and as a result, the ball goes out of bounds back to the Breads. Caden Custard back in. Will Furnish also returns for the Breads.
Smothers would have to be looking and had hands like a basket to catch that. So likely he wasn't going to catch it.
No. Edwards also back in for Clark County. Kendall against the press. It's good to have a 6'5" guy able to handle the press.
Yeah, because they got a 6'5" guy guarding.
Yeah. He's pretty darn good with those long arms. Kendall goes to the block. His shot off the glass too hard, no good, but they're going to call a foul on Edwards. And that'll be Edwards' first personal. Got to remember, JD really didn't have a growth spurt until a couple of years ago, so through his formative years, he learned how to be a guard. Kendall last year in limited playing time did not go to the foul line that often. In fact, only twice and was 1 for 2. He makes this first one, though, to get his team back to within 5 at 22-17.
Equals last year's totals right
Yes. Second free throw also good. Now he's outdistanced last year, right? 4 points for him now as the Breads are back to within 4 at 22-18. Exactly 6 minutes left to go in this second quarter. Now a floater in the lane by Sloan from about 8 feet away.
We can't let that guy score.
No. Makes it 24-18 in favor of the Cardinals. Now a bad pass off the press. Luckily, though, Wellman diving for the ball, can't retrieve it. It goes off his hands out of bounds. So Harrison will maintain possession. This is one of those presses that Clark County's thrown at us that just over time wears you down.
Yeah, and those long arms make it harder and harder.
Inbounds pass comes to Tayshawn. Tayshawn directing some traffic in the backcourt. Picks up the dribble, lobs it to the middle of the floor, knocked away, but Tayshawn gets the loose ball to Caden. Caden Custard in the paint, lobs it to JD. Kendall off the glass and good. Give the assist that time to Caden as well. And the Breads are back to within 4 again at 24-20. We need to break that 4-point barrier.
Foul on Tayshawn.
Tayshawn picks up his first personal foul. Just a common foul from his own baseline. To inbounds the ball will be Morton. 24-20 Cardinals lead. 5.5 left to go in the first half. Here's a lob pass to Sloan up top. Sloan moves in between the circles in the paint. Lobs it in the corner to Morton. Morton, a lot of contact from Kendall. No call. Gets it in the paint. Fall away 12-footer. No. Tip back. No good by Edwards. And now Edwards and Tayshawn will tie things up between themselves. Alternating possession arrow faces the way of the Thoroughbreds. Need to feed a hungry crew fast? Order a Beast Pizza right now. Don't forget about wings and salads too. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235. Trent said snap. You can't hear him, but he said it. Quick 30-second timeout called by Harrison County.
No, Clark.
Oh, Clark County. So 5:10 left to go in the first half. And I'll tell you what, Mike, we're hanging right with the best team in the 10th region.
We are. We've had 6 attempts at this quarter, and they've only had 5. Both made 2 field goals, but we've cut off. They haven't made any threes yet. And I tell you, I think our benefit is as much as Sloan handles the ball, we're better off.
Yes, I agree.
We don't need to have 11, 13, or Wellman, any of those guys doing anything. We need Sloan to dribble and drive in, throw it around crazy.
And it appears he likes to dribble, so
yes,
that's even better.
I'll be surprised if that continues throughout the season.
Could be, or else he'll be on the bench.
Yeah.
Well, last night the Phillies went up to Frederick Douglass and lost a tight one, 45-42. They'll be in action tomorrow night here on the Hilltop for their first home game of the season, taking on a very good Mason County squad. So the Lady Royals coming to town, one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the 10th region this year.
Jeff Kinney's JV team started off the season with a big win.
So that was very good. And actually the comeback was good. Here's a steal by Edwards off the press, and he slams it home. Can't allow that to happen too often.
Yeah, that was a terrible thing.
Yeah. 4:56 in the first half, 26-20 Cardinals up. Now Custard has his pocket picked from behind by Sloan. Sloan in the front court to the left side, finds a wide open Morton for 3, and it's good. Well, we kind of lost our way on defense and also handling the ball. 29-20 now your score. Clark County taking the lead at the 4:37 mark of this first half. On the baseline, Sword, a 15-footer good. 11 points for J.D. Sword, who almost on his own is keeping his Thoroughbreds in this ball game. 4:24 left to go in the first half. At the center circle, Sloan in the front court. Gets to the right side, long range to Morton. Morton moves to the top of the key, backs up now to Sloan on the wing in front of the stable. Sloan will back it up now to reset the offense. Moves to the foul line, fires up a shot from there, off the rim, no good. Edwards, though, there for the rebound. His putback is good. Edwards using those long arms to outdistance his much shorter defenders, 31-22. 3:55 left to go in this first half. Tayshawn in the front court near the far sideline, lobs the ball to the near sideline to Sword. Sword in the corner finds Caden. Caden floats to the basket. Nice move, and a layup is good. 5 points now for Caden Custard, and Harrison County is back to within 7 at 31-24. 3.5 left to go in this first half.
Too bad there's no style points.
Yeah, that was good style there. Here's a long 3 by Morton, short. Rebound on the floor, still being chased after. Finally, J.D. Sword comes up with it. That's his 3rd rebound already here in the first half. Tayshawn races to the basket around Sloan, makes the basket, and has a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play. Good drive that time by Tayshawn for his first 2 points of the ball game to get his team back to within 5 at 31-26 and can hopefully make it more. Tayshawn at the line. His first free throw of the night.
Clark was kind of regrouping themselves as they went down the floor as Tayshawn drove past him.
Free throw up, off the flange, no good. Morton comes down with the board. Morton will jog the ball into the front court as he crosses the center line in the middle of the floor. Goes into the paint around several Harrison County defenders, misses the shot. Caden Custard with the rebound. Gets it on a run out to Sword, who lays it up and in. Good vision that time by Caden, his 2nd assist of the night. And Harrison County has narrowed the gap to 31-28 with 2:50 left to go here in this first half. Morton tries a pass in the paint, but before he can get the ball off, he's going to be fouled by Caden. That'll be Caden Custard's first personal. As Carpenter returns to the lineup, he'll come in for Tayshawn. 2:44 left to go in the first half of the first game of the year for the Breds, the second game for the Cardinals. From his own baseline, Morton in the corner finds Wellman for three, rims out. Little competition on that one. Caden Custard comes down with the rebound. Caden now fell to the floor, but he kept his dribble. That should have been okay to do that. If you don't stop your dribble, you can get up and down at any time you want.
He missed that, and he's not going to be a big enough man to say, help me.
Yeah, that was a legal move by Caden Custard. They called a turnover. Not a good call at all.
That call was pitiful.
Pass to the left side, this time into the hands of Smothers, who's back in the game in front of the Harrison bench to Wellman. Wellman back up top to Hernandez, who's also back in the game for the Cardinals. In between the circles to Morton. Morton lobs the ball inside. It gets away from Edwards. Loose ball picked up by Sword, and here come the Breds. Sword to the left side to Carpenter. Carpenter goes baseline. In the paint, tries a pass to Furnish, but it's going to be stolen by Smothers.
Can't throw the ball down Furnish's knees.
Smothers to Hernandez in the front court on the right side to Morton. Morton calls out the play. Now he's going to be called for palming the ball. So maybe a little bit of a makeup call there as the Breds will get the ball back.
I think Coach Brooks was talking to Gary Wilson about that bad call that it wasn't Wilson made it.
No.
I think Wilson was agreeing with him, but he couldn't do anything about it
at
that time.
Caden Custard in the backcourt. Some token pressure by the Cardinals in the front court to Kendall. JD to the block, to the glass, and it's good. Kendall with 8 points, and Harrison is back to within one at 31-30. Good drive that time by J.D. Kendall. 1:39 left to go in this first half. Up top, Wellman drops the ball, picks it back up. Floater in the lane from 12 is no good, but a foul is going to be called on Furnish. Will's got to remember, all he has to do is stand there and raise his arms. He doesn't have to go anywhere.
I don't think Will was real fond of that call. He threw the ball to Rob Ogden.
Wellman at the line. He's 1 for 2. His team up by 1 presently. Make it 2 as he makes that first free throw. He now has 11 in the game as Dylan Gibson returns for the Cardinals. 32-30. Now your score, and the second free throw upcoming. Also coming back in the game for the Cardinals, Jeremiah Mundy. He saw limited action in the first quarter. He'll come in for Hernandez. This is a very deep Cardinal team.
Well, they have to be as much pressing as they do.
Yeah. Second free throw by Wellman is also good.
As big as the school is, they ought to have plenty of people.
You would think. 33-30 now your score. Harrison once again down by a tray. Breds have trailed by as many as 9. Kendall with the basketball in the front court on the right side to Furnish at the top of the key. Lobs it down onto the block to Caden. Custard goes to the basket. His shot blocked to the bounds by Morton. Morton, just a junior. Terrific player for these Cardinals. From his own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass will be Sword with 1:17 left to go in the half. Sword to the left wing to Carpenter. Up top to Caden Custard. Caden takes the ball in the paint. Lobs it back on the wing to Sword. JD in front of the Cardinal bench will now bring it back to the midcourt circle to reset the offense as we approach a minute to play. Sword looks to his left, gets the ball to Furnish beyond the arc on the left side to the top of the key to Kendall. JD at first thought about shooting that ball. Now he gets the ball to Carpenter, who will fire away from the top of the key off the flange. No good. Rebound tapped into the hands of Morton by Edwards. Morton on the far sideline moves to the wing, and we're going to have a foul called as they say that he pushed off. So Morton with the offensive foul. Turnover gives the ball back to the Thoroughbreds with 43 seconds left to go in the half.
He was about as fond of that call as Will was there.
Yeah, maybe even more so.
Yeah.
I invite you to join us at halftime, where we'll have all the scoring and stats in our Fryman's Hilltop Grill halftime show. Timeout by Harrison, just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. And just seems we can't get over that ceiling. It seems like there's a barrier there. Whenever we get within 1 or 2 points or 3, we just can't make that big basket yet.
Well, unfortunately, right now they're kind of waiting for us.
Yeah.
So we have made some mistakes, but last shot, Clay, that was a good shot. It just didn't go in. So it's we haven't made that many mistakes. We have 9 turnovers in a half. They have 9. So that's that's not great, but it's not terrible for the first game.
For the Cardinals press, and it being the first game of the season, I think that Coach Brooks wouldn't necessarily be happy with 9, but when you think of all the things considered, 9 is a pretty good number.
Yeah.
All right, the Breads down by 3 out of the timeout. Kendall inbounds the ball to Custard. That's take Caden. Caden calls out the play as he crosses the timeline in the middle of the floor and is met instantly by Jerome Morton. Caden, a little push-off, no call, to the wing to J.D. Kendall in front of the Harrison County, or the Clark County bench to the top of the key, and now a travel called as he lost his footing just a bit. So just as I said about the 9 turnovers, we get number 10.
And that was, I don't know about that. But, yeah, still, we're trying to, first game, trying to think and move at the same time against a very good defense. We're going to make some mistakes.
Morton with the basketball on the right wing to the top of the key to Wellman. Wellman at the left elbow puts up a leaner, no good. Gibson with the rebound. His putback blocked by Furnish, but Gibson gets the rebound again. Over on the right side, Morton looks at the clock and sees 10 seconds. Coach Cook calls out the play. Coach Cook in his 5th year at the helm of the Cardinals. Now in between the circles, Morton with 3 seconds left. 2 seconds, right side 12-footer, short. And that will bring us to the end of the first half of play. With your score, Clark County 33, Harrison County 30, but a really nice effort by our guys against one of the best teams in the 10th region, if not the best team in the 10th region, here in our opener on the Hilltop. We invite you to stay tuned now for our halftime show brought to you by Fryman's Hilltop Grill. We'll go over all the scoring and stats, but right now we'll take a break. You're listening to Harrison County Basketball on WCYN Sports. We want to welcome you to the Fryman's Hilltop Grill halftime report. Let's take a look at the scoring for Clark County. They were paced by Jared Wellman, who has 12 points here at the break, including 3 3-pointers. Jerome Morton, 11 points, including a tray himself. 6 points for Trent Edwards, who also had a team-leading 6 boards, and a couple of points each for both Jeremiah Mundy and Aiden Sloan. Also getting into the game but not scoring were Reed Johnson, Sammy Hernandez, Stanley Smothers, and Dylan Gibson. Meanwhile, Harrison County paced by J.D. Sword, who has 13 points, including a tray here at the break. 8 of those 13 coming in the second quarter. 8 points for J.D. Kendall, 6 of which came in that second frame. 5 points for Caden Custard, including a 3. And a couple of points as well for both Clay Carpenter and Tayshawn Custard. Also getting into the game but not scoring, Will Furnish, Braylon Hinton, Blaine Biddle, and Gunnar Cole. We've had 1 time and 1 lead change in the game so far. A game that was close early, But with about a couple of minutes left to go in the first quarter, the Cardinals went on a 9-2 run to go up 22-14. Harrison County was able to close the gap to 4 at 24-20 before the Cardinals bounced back out to their largest lead at 31-22. But that's when Harrison County scored 8 unanswered points to draw back to within 1 at 31-30, and right now trail by just 3 points. That's the way the individual numbers look. We'll take a break and come back and have Mike take a look at the team stats following this timeout. We'll be right back with more of the Hilltop Grill halftime report right here on WCYN Sports.
At Harrison Memorial Hospital in Cynthiana, Kentucky, our forward-thinking approach to orthopedics has one goal in
Shot the ball 28 times, made 12 of them for 43%, or 2 out of 6 from the three-point line for 33%. Made 4 out of 5 foul shots for 80%, committed 10 turnovers, and they have 14 rebounds, 10 defensive and 4 offensive. For Clark County shot the ball 34 times, which is 6 more than the Bridge. They made 13 of them for 38%. They're 4 out of 9 from the three-point line for 44%. They shot 6 foul shots, made 3 of them for 50%. They have 9 turnovers, and they have 18 rebounds, 10 defensive and 8 offensive. So the Reds cut that rebound margin down to just 4 now. So they're in the game. We've got to get them off the offensive boards. They have 8 offensive rebounds to the Cardinals, but overall, we're down 3 points. We've shot the ball better percentage-wise. They've attempted 6 more, so if we can get a few more shots up and continue to make the ones we've been making, things looking pretty good.
Yeah, and the thing about it is we've defended pretty well. Also, we've left Wellman wide open a couple of times when we should not have. But as far as we're making Morton work for his points.
Well, Morton needs to look for Wellman a little more.
Yeah.
The rest of them do look for him pretty good. But Morton got excited about scoring. He made a couple baskets early, I think, and then got dribbling and trying to force stuff. I'm sure Coach Cook probably mentioned that at halftime. They need to let a guy like that that can play like he can play, just needs to let it come to him and not try to force stuff.
Exactly.
So that's the Fryman's Hilltop Grill halftime report on WCYN Sports.
And we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop. Both teams are going through some halftime warm-ups before we get started on the third quarter. 33-30, Cardinals lead right now. Well, the Breds will be back in action on Thursday here on the Hilltop as they'll take on Bluegrass United. That's a home school from down in Versailles. Then on Saturday, Dixie Heights comes to town. Now that's an earlier start than normal. We'll be starting that game at 5 o'clock, and as it ends up also starting at 5 o'clock on Saturday is the UK game against Florida. So thank you whoever did that from the SEC network. But in any case, next Tuesday, the Breds will be hosting Scott High School. So look forward to playing the Eagles. As we said last night, the Phillies dropping a 45-42 decision at Frederick Douglass. They'll open up their home schedule with a game against Mason County tomorrow night. Then on Friday, they'll host the Eagles of LCA. And next Monday, got a tough one as the Lady Camels of Campbell County come to town. The wrestling team, who will be our guest on Let's Talk Sports on Saturday, also have a match that day as they will be hosting the Maroon and White Duels. I assume that will be over at the middle school. So lots of activity now that the KHSAA has allowed teams to play, both the boys and girls basketball and cheerleading and also wrestling as well. But back here, first things first, we got to take a lead on the Cardinals, keep it, and come out of here with a win. Right now, it's anybody's ball game at 33-30. And the Cardinals will have the ball to start out this second half. As you said, a good crowd. The maximum I'm going to guess is what we were allowed, which was around 450 or somewhere around that neighborhood. We'll have some places where it's not quite so populated, like when we go to Augusta and St. Pat later on in the season.
It's going to be tough to get this crowd here won't fit there.
That's true. Morton with the basketball. Backdoor cut to Wellman. He can't control it as the pass was at his ankles. He kicks it out of bounds. So just like that, a turnover by the Cardinals gives the ball to the Breds. He had a wide open look. It's just, if the pass was at his chest, it would have been awesome, but it was at his ankles. Full court pressure by the Cardinals. Still Caden Custer throws the ball away, but the ball is loose and is picked up by Kendall. JD in the front court on the left baseline to Carpenter. 12 for the good. Carpenter with his fourth point. Ball was knocked away, and they say don't knock it away, as the Breds are back to within one at 33-32.
That's what we needed to start off with.
7:37 on the clock. Over on the far sideline, Edwards. Edwards to the top of the key to Sloan. Sloan down on the block. He'll find some others. Back to Sloan for a three. Good. Man, a long-range tray by Aiden Sloan puts his team back up by 4, 36-32. Now a steal by Morton. His long three is no good. Edwards, though, is there for the offensive rebound. And we're going to have a foul underneath the basket. I believe it's going to be on J.D. Kendall.
That's on Caden.
That was Caden Custer. That'll be Caden's second personal foul.
Caden threw the ball. We can't be used to those long arms, although we got some guys in practice with long arms. But those long arms have been very difficult for us.
Tying his shoe is JD, taking a while to get it done. You need someone to protect your home, Otto, and more like that. No, it's not. You need someone to protect your home, Otto, and more like they are protecting the rim. There you go. That's when you call Dan Furnish. Here's a three from the corner by Wellman. No good. Rebound put back is good by Smothers. Some more offensive rebounding work successful for the guests from over in Winchestershire. In the front court from the elbow, Sword jump shot no good. Rebound on the floor picked up by Edwards. He has 8 boards on the night. Edwards races to the baseline. Is he going to be fouled by Kendall? We're playing a little out of control right now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
All of a sudden we're playing in the 5th gear when we need to be back around the 3rd. Here's a pass down low to Wellman, blocked by Furnish, and Kendall comes down with the board. He'll get the ball to Sword. Sword across the timeline on the far side of the circle to the far sideline, finds Caden Custard. Caden back inside the center circle to the near side to Kendall. Kendall races to the block, goes to the basket, layup off the glass is good. A 10-point game for J.D. Kendall, and Harrison County is back to within 4 at 38-34. In the front court with the basketball, Sloan pitches it in the corner to Wellman for three. Short. Rebound pulled down by Carpenter, and here come the Breads. A couple of minutes into this third quarter. In the corner, Sword for a three. Oh, just barely rolls off. Edwards down with another rebound. In the front court come the Cardinals, Sloan. Sloan at the top of the key, now splits the Harrison defense, but he's going to be fouled by Caden and Custard, and that'll be Caden's third. See if Coach Brooks keeps him in there. And it looks as though he will be doing that. From his own baseline, opposite side of the basket, will be Morton. Morton looking, gets it to Smothers underneath the basket, floats in there, and Smothers with 4 points here in the second half has put his team back up by 6 at 40-34. Facing that full court pressure, Harrison breaks it. Caden Custard in the corner finds J.D. Sword for three, in and out. Rebound pulled down by Morton. We're also just getting one shot this time around. Morton in the paint, dumps it down low to Smothers again, and once again, Smothers wide open for the layup. And the Cardinals have taken an 8-point lead at 42-34. And now a steal on the inbounds pass by Trent Edwards, and a timeout called by Harrison County. We'll take it as well. 5:22 left to go in the third. Your score, Clark County 44, Harrison County 34. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. All righty, back here at the Hilltop, 11-2 run by the Clark County Cardinals have increased their lead to 10 points. That's their largest of the game. Harris now the timeout, facing that 1-2-1-1 full court pressure. Inbounds pass comes to Sword. It gets to Carpenter. Carpenter back to Sword on the far sideline. Now to Kendall. Kendall in the front court has the ball back tapped away from behind. Loose ball picked up by Sloan. Outlet pass to Morton, who lays it up and in. 13 points now for Jerome Morton, and the lead goes to a dozen for the Cardinals at 46-34. Now in the front court, a 12-footer from about 8 feet away by J.D. Sword is good. Boy, that is just what the doctor ordered. Harrison Stowe still down by 10. Now a shot put up by Smothers, no good. Rebound by Caden Custard, and as he comes up the floor, he's going to be fouled from behind by Smothers. Frustration foul, I'm going to say, that time on Mr. Smothers.
Yeah, that was a Sloan just came in there and threw one up.
Yeah.
I mean, they have everything going for them. They don't need that.
Mundy returns for Clark County. He'll come in for Smothers. Harrison down by 10. 4:51 left to go in the third quarter. Inbounds pass comes to Caden Custard. Caden lobs the ball in the front court to Sword. Skip pass to Carpenter, right side, three-point try, short. Rebound is going to be hauled in by Clay. He puts it back up, no good. Rebound is going to be hauled in this time by Mundy. Up the floor come the Cardinals. Morton to the basket, off the glass, too hard, no good. Caden Custard with the rebound. Reds racing the other way. We need to slow down some. Caden goes baseline, cut off, puts up a shot off the glass, and good. Nice move that time by Caden as he was underneath the basket and still able to get it in the hole. 46-38. Harrison back to within an 8-point margin. Now on the right side in the front court, Morton. Morton goes to the block, and he traveled, but he might have been fouled first. Nope, he traveled first. So Harrison County gets the ball back on another Clark County turnover. Coach Cook probably not too happy with the way his team is protecting the basketball. Tayshawn Custard will check in for Caden Custard. Will go to the bench with those 3 personal fouls. Clark County, a consensus top 20 team in the state, as well as being consensus top team in the region. Of course, they are the defending champions as well. Inbounds pass comes to Tayshawn in the front court to Carpenter. Carpenter lobs the ball in the corner to Sword. Fakes the three, moves inside the arc. 15-footer short. Gets his own rebound. His putback from 12 is good. JD playing an awesome game tonight. Gets his team back to within 6 at 46-40. In the front court come the Cardinals. 3:46 on the clock. At the foul line, Morton races around the defense, makes the shot, and is fouled by Furnish, and will have a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play. Morton can just absolutely take over a ball game. Gunnar Cole will come back in. He saw quite a bit of action in the first half. This will be Morton's first free throws of the night. He was 1 for 2 against Paris last night. Chance for the three-point play the old-fashioned way is on the way, and no good. Cole wades in there to get the rebound for the Thoroughbreds. He'll get it to Tayshawn. Back to J.D. Kendall. Kendall stops short of the midcourt stripe to the right side to the wing to Cole. He'll get the ball to Sword, who goes baseline from 12 feet away. Good. 19 points for J.D. Sword, and you can just see the confidence in his shots. 48-42. Harrison County back to within 6. 3:15 left to go in the third. Right side, Wellman for an open three. Off the front of the rim, no good. Kind of off balance. Kendall with the rebound. And he throws the ball away. Steal by Wellman. Wellman races to the basket. Around Furnish, makes it. Jared Wellman's first points of the second half after getting a dozen in the first half. Puts his team back up by 8 at 50-42. Harrison trying to break the press. Throws it to Cole, who's standing on the sideline. So give it back to the Cardinals as Blaine Biddle returns to the floor, coming in for Furnish. 2:52 on the clock. Just like the Breads and Phillies delivering three-pointers, Killian's Pizza can deliver to you tonight. Call 298-2048 to place your order. Also available for pickup in the Bridge Street Plaza. Inbounds pass comes to Sloan. His team up by 8. Gets to the top of the key to Edwards. He'll fire a three-point try. Good! Well, you can't leave the big man alone anywhere, it seems like, as the Cardinals have gone up by 11, 53-42. Now we've got a blocking foul on the Cardinals as Caden Custard went into the paint. That foul is going to be assessed to Mundy. That'll be Jeremiah Mundy's third, the first Cardinal to get that many fouls. From his own baseline, Kendall to trigger the inbounds pass from the far side of the basket. Reds need a bucket here. Kendall looking, still looking, gets it to Sword. 12-footer bounces off. Rebound pulled down by Edwards, who now has a double-double on the night. 11 points, 10 boards. In the corner, a three try put up by Chris Morton, who's in the game, is no good. Bounces off of Sloan's hands. Chris Morton, a 5'7" senior, coming off the bench, had 4 points against the Greyhounds last night in what has been a much wider margin than tonight's game. That game, 89-28. Ugh.
Yeah, we have them outscored at halftime.
Yeah. Full court pressure by the Cardinals. A little pushing and shoving by Chris Morton. Kendall will try to get the ball in bounds, and now they're going to call an offensive foul on Caden Custard, and that'll be Caden's fourth. So another turnover by the Thoroughbreds, and Caden's going to have to come out as Tayshawn will come back in. 30-second timeout called by the Cardinals. We'll keep it right here. But Cardinals a good team. It seems like every time we start getting a little bit close, Morton or Edwards takes over.
Yeah, we're not, other than J.D. Sword, we don't have anybody that's consistently making baskets. No. And we're having to work too hard to get what we're getting while they come down and make layups. And several times in this second half, they've broken free and made a layup on the inbounds pass.
Right.
So, our defense is suffering from, I think our offense is causing our defense to suffer.
Yes, I agree with that wholly. Want to remind everyone that you can visit Fryman's Hilltop Grill for daily specials Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. You can call ahead for quick pickup by dialing 234-1797. That's 234-1797 for Fryman's Hilltop Grill. From his own baseline out of the timeout, Jerome Morton will try to get the ball in bounds. He gets it in the corner. Edwards for an open three try. Bounces high off the rim. No good. Rebound's going to be pulled in by J.D. Sword. Sword with 5 boards to go along with his 19 points in the front court to Tayshawn. Tayshawn backs up near the center circle. Now inside the circle to the far side, being tracked by Morton. Picks up his dribble, gets it to Kendall, who has to tiptoe to make sure he doesn't get on that midcourt strike. Now a steal by Sloan, outlet pass to Morton. Morton outraces Biddle to the basket. 17 points now for Jerome Biddle, and the Cardinals have their largest lead at 55-42, just under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
It's our 7th turnover this quarter.
Tayshawn throws the ball away. Steal by Morton. Morton brings the ball into the front court himself. Kicks it in the corner. Chris Morton for three. Rims out. Rebound pulled down by Gunnar Cole. Cole brings the ball in the front court. Dishes it to Biddle. If Biddle goes to the basket, he's going to be fouled by both Chris Morton and Aiden Sloan. We'll see who they assess it to. They're going to give it to Sloan. That'll be Aiden Sloan's third. And we'll send Biddle to the line for the first time tonight. Blaine still looking for his first points of the season. Last year, a 50% free throw shooter. First one's on the way and off the mark, no good. And that looked bad off the hands. Gibson, Wellman, and Hernandez check in for Clark. Clay Carpenter back in for the Thoroughbreds. Right now, the Cardinals on a 9-2 run. Second free throw upcoming for Biddle to try to stop this mid-run and get his team back to within a dozen if he can make this free throw at the 1:30 mark, and he does for his first point of the night. 55-43. Into the front court with the basketball comes Morton as he looks over to Coach Cook, see what play he wants to run. Top of the key, Morton backs up, gets it to Wellman in the corner. Here's a three by Hernandez, rolls off the rim, no good. Carpenter on the far side will pick up the rebound. As we come into the front court, we're going to have an offensive foul on Carpenter for pushing off, so another turnover for the Thoroughbreds. No reason for that. 1:10 left to go in the third quarter. Cardinals right now in control. They led by 3 at the half, now up by a dozen as they've outscored the Thoroughbreds here in the second half, 22-13. Morton, crossover dribble, goes to the basket, misses it, gets his own rebound, has his shot blocked by Cole, and this time Sword will get the rebound. In the front court come the Thoroughbreds. Sword has his shot blocked out of bounds by Wellman. Breds will maintain possession as Chris Morton checks back in. Also Kendall back in for Harrison County. 51 seconds is all that's left in the third quarter. I'd like to get this deficit back to single digits before we go into the quarter break. Breds down by a dozen. Cole gets the ball to Carpenter on the wing. Up top, he'll find Kendall. Kendall in the paint finds Biddle, and now Biddle is going to be pushed by Gibson. That'll be Dylan Gibson's first personal foul.
That they've called.
That they've called, exactly.
That guy's so big, he makes one getting off the bench.
From his own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass. Well, it was going to be Sword, but he'll give way to J.D. Kendall, so trade one J.D. for another. Kendall will get the ball on the far side of the basket. Looking to get the ball in bounds, finds Sword in the corner, up top to Cole, inside the center circle to Carpenter. Clay races the baseline, in the corner finds Sword. Sword goes into the paint, a floater from 10 is off the mark. Rebound is going to be hauled in by Mundy. Cardinals with 29 seconds left may go over the last shot of this third quarter. Chris Morton up top to Hernandez. Between the circles, Hernandez gets away from Kendall. Goes to the block to the glass, and it's good as nobody cut him off. Sammy Hernandez's first points of the night puts his team up by its largest margin at 57-43. Just 10 seconds left to go in the quarter. Here's a shot put up from 18 by Sword, no good. Rebound pulled in by Cole, who bounces it off of the leg of Hernandez. So Harrison County will get the ball with 2.1 seconds left on the clock. They'll be inbounding it from the corner next to the stable. Cole gets the ball to Sword. Sword fires a three at the buzzer, in and out. So at the end of three-year score, Clark County 57, Harrison County 43. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County has their work cut out for them as they trail by a score of 57-43. The Cardinals from Clark County outscoring the Braves 9-1 to finish up that third quarter. Reds, fortunately, will have the ball first to start the second half, or fourth quarter, excuse me. Need to feed a hungry crew fast? Order a Beast Pizza right now. Don't forget about wings and salads, too. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235. Trent said snap, as only he can. Kendall on the wing to Caden Custard. Back up top to Furnish, to the right side to Carpenter, long range. Carpenter finds Tayshawn at the top of the key. He'll back up near the center circle. Now drives into the paint, stops and pops from 10, bounces high off the flange and good. For Tayshawn, his fourth point. Harrison back to within a dozen. That's how you do it. You do it one basket at a time. In the front court with the basketball goes Sloan to the basket. Good. Aiden Sloan with 7 points. Pretty good for the little man as he puts his team back up by 14. Now a shot put up, no good. Rebound pulled down by Wellman. Wellman, outlet pass to Edwards. He can't control it, but gets the ball to Gibson somehow. Out top to Wellman for the long three, no. Rebound pulled down by Furnish. And as Harrison comes up the floor, we're going to have a foul called on Morton. That'll be Jerome Morton's second personal foul. 59-45 is your score.
The basket Sloan made was just, he couldn't make that again 10 times, but he did that one.
Inbounds pass comes to Tayshawn. Gets it back to Kendall. Still facing that full court pressure. Kendall picks up his dribble, double team, looking for help. He'll find Tayshawn. Tayshawn across the timeline in the middle of the floor. In the corner finds Caden Custard. Caden, pull-up jumper from 12 on the baseline, no good. Rebound knocked around, picked up by Carpenter, who puts it up and in. Good job that time by Clay on the offensive glass to get his team back to within a dozen at 59-47. 6.5 left to go in the fourth quarter. Here's a long three by Sloan, good from NBA range. Well, they let him have it, and I think I would have too, but he buries it, 62-47. In the paint, 12-footer put up by Carpenter, no good. Wellman with the rebound for the Cardinals. Outlet pass to Edwards, who slams it home. Harrison a little slow getting back on defense that time, and now trail 64-47. Full court pressure wearing the Breds down a bit. Caden Custard in the front court on the right wing. Goes to the right elbow. Leaner, no. Rebound pulled down by Morton and will race the other way. Outlet pass to Edwards to the basket. Layup good. Edwards with 15 points on the night along with 10 boards. And Harrison County wants and needs a timeout. We'll take it as well. 5:47 left to go. Your score, Clark County 66, Harrison County 47. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, out of the timeout. Harrison facing that full court Cardinal pressure. Sword gets into the front court to Tayshawn Custard. Up top to Kendall. Kendall on the baseline to Caden Custard. Puts up a shot trying to get around Edwards. His shot's no good, but a foul is going to be called. It's going to be on Edwards. That'll be his second. And send Caden Custard to the line. His first trip to the line tonight. Last year, Custard from the line was a 58% free throw shooter. First one's on the way and good. Gives him 8 points on the night as Monday and Smothers return to the floor for the Cardinals. 66-48, Harrison down. 5:34 left. Second free throw upcoming. That stops an 18-5 run by the Cardinals. Second free throw by Caden is off the front of the rim, no good, and ripping down the rebound is Smothers. Gets it in the front court to Morton, races to the basket, and it's good. They're just beating us down the floor mercilessly. Makes it a 20-point game at 68-48. Tayshawn up top with the basketball. Looks to his right, looks to his left. Now backs up inside the center circle to reset the offense. Now gets the ball to Carpenter, long range left side. Back in the hands of Tayshawn on the near side of the midcourt circle. Tayshawn taking his time, crossover dribble in the paint, goes to the basket, lays it up and misses it. Smothers with the rebound for the Cardinals. Up the floor comes Sloan, tries a pass, it's knocked away, but the loose ball picked up by Morton. You get it back up top to Sloan, to the right side to Wellman. Thought about the long three, now races into the paint. A leaner from 10 is good off the glass. 16 points for Jared Wellman as the lead grows to 22 for the Cardinals. This game has gotten out of hand. Remember, Harrison trailed by only 3 at the half, but here in the second half have been outscored 37-15. Here's a fall away 12-footer, no good by Tayshawn. J.D. Kendall gets the rebound and misses it. Rebound brought down by Morton. Up the floor, the ball comes to Sloan, who's going to be tripped up accidentally by J.D. Sword. It'll be Sword's second personal foul, and we'll send Sloan to the line for one of the bonus. First free throws of the season for Aiden Sloan, who has 10 points.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Parrish must not got close enough.
First free throw by the lefty's good.
What happened? We're just playing with those people one-on-one, and we can't guard them one-on-one.
No. Second free throw also good by Sloan. Gives him a dozen points. 72-48. Midway through the fourth quarter. Caden trying to get away from the pressure of Sloan. Goes baseline, then bounces the ball off his own foot and out of bounds. So these are all fatigue turnovers we've had over the last 5 or 6 minutes. I told you in the first half that pressure by Clark County may not affect you instantly, but over time it just wears you down. Wellman gets the ball to Sloan. Now a timeout called by Coach Cook. 4:04 left to go in this basketball game. Your score, Clark County 72, Harrison County 48. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Back here at the Hilltop out of the timeout. The Cardinals a 72-48 lead. And as I said before, right now they're in the midst of a 24-6 run after Harrison had gotten the deficit down to 6 midway through the third quarter. Racing to the basket is Mundy. His shot's no good, but Wellman comes down with the offensive board. Here's a long NBA three, good by Jerome Morton. His second tray of the night. He has 22 points overall. Makes it a 75-48 score. Now a steal by Wellman as the Reds try to get the ball underneath. In the front court, that's Smothers. In the paint to Sloan. Trapped on the baseline, and they're going to say he stepped on that baseline. So on the turnover, get the ball back to the Reds. Man, they've been doing this, and Trent Edwards has been out of the game. He checks back in again. Edwards, 15 points, 10 boards. Morton, 22 points. He's grabbed 7 rebounds tonight.
They have 4 turnovers the second half, and we have 11.
Yikes. Into the front court with the basketball comes Caden Custer to the left side to Kendall. Kendall, handoff to Sword. Sword moves into the paint. Now gets the ball to Tayshawn, who will bring it back near the top of the key to the right side to Sword for a long-range tray. Short rebound, Tayshawn. His floater blocked by Morton, and the rebound will fly out of bounds. Last touch, they're going to say, by the Thoroughbred, so Cardinals get the ball back. Reds back in action on Thursday night as they'll host Bluegrass United, homeschool out of Versailles. Try to get on the winning track. Morton races past Tayshawn and misses the dunk. Rebound pulled down, though, by Mundy. His putback is good. Jeremiah Mundy with 4 points. Makes it 77-48. Here's a long three by Carpenter. No. Long rebound comes out to Tayshawn. He'll get it to the left side to Caden Custard. Back up top to Carpenter. Carpenter splits the defense, and he's going to be called for the travel as he was trying to draw the foul from Mundy, but took an extra step. Back in the game, returning for Harrison, Gunnar Cole. He'll replace Carpenter. Boy, this ball game got away from us fast.
Sure did.
In the front court, Sloan down low to Edwards, who lays it up and in as our defense is slow getting back, and Coach Cook is emptying the bench at the next dead ball. Here's a long three by Cole, no good off the flange. Rebound is picked up by Caden Custard, who puts it back up and in. Nice follow on the offensive glass by the freshman. Makes it 50-79, though. Into the front court, Morton down low to Edwards, who lays it up and in. 19 points and 10 boards for the big man. Makes it 81-50. Now in the paint is Caden Custard. Floats a basket in. Did it count? Yes, it did. So a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play by Caden coming up. Caden on the night, 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. But first, we'll have massive substitutions as Hernandez, Gibson check back in. Also in the game for the first time in the second half, Reed Johnson, he saw some action in the first half. Chris Morton also comes into the game. The only starter still out there is Aiden Sloan. So Custard now, Caden, a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. On the way and rattles in there. 81-53. In the front court to the basket. Gibson lays it in. Where's the defense?
I don't know.
Makes it 83-53.
It's a bounce pass right across the lane.
Now we're going to have a foul called on the Cardinals. It's going to be on Sloan. That'll be Sloan's fourth. So, actually his fifth, excuse me. I missed a foul somewhere. But he fouls out having scored 12 points. Did a pretty good job out there as the point man. Back at the line, Caden Custard, who is now 2 for 3. First one's no good. He was falling off balance as he released it, so no big surprise. It was off the mark. 30 points. Second is on the way and good. Remember, the Brits were within 3 at halftime.
Yeah.
Second free throw is good. Make it 83-54. Just over a minute and a half left, and now a travel called by Morton. Uncharacteristic mistake by him. Now a timeout called by Clark. We'll take it as well. 1:44 left, 83-54. The Cardinals over Harrison County. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports.
State in Cynthiana,
Thank you.
and 654-5454 in Fountain.
So we get back to action. A long three by J.D. Kendall is no good, but on the opposite end, a long three by Jerome Morton is good. Give him 25 points and 7 rebounds, and it's 86-54. Now loose ball picked up by Caden Custard. Gets it to the top of the key to Sword. Sword nearly had it taken away from behind, recovers it. His 12-footer, though, is no good. Morton with the rebound. He'll get it, or try to get into the front court, knocked to the bounds by Caden Custard. So the Cardinals will maintain possession. 5 ticks over, a minute left to go. We invite you to stay tuned for our post-game show. Hosted by, or not hosted, but brought to you by Dustin Rose at Farm Bureau. We'll go over all the scoring and stats and have a chat with Coach Brooks, as well as name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. Here's a three from the corner by Chris Morton, good. So Chris Morton gets his name into the scorebook as the lead grows to 89-54. Going to the basket, Caden Custard, his shot's good. He has 16, 9 in the fourth quarter, but still 56-89. Here's a three by Chris Morton again, no. Gunnar Cole, who's back in the game, gets the rebound, brings it in the front court himself. On the baseline, finds Tayshawn. Tayshawn spins around Chris Morton, but misses the layup badly. Gibson with the rebound for Clark. He'll get the ball in the hands of Morton. Lobs to Chris Morton on the near side. Chris Morton will now get the far side to Reed Johnson. Johnson puts the ball on his hip with 10 seconds left, and unless somebody dives for the ball or something crazy like that, that will bring us to the end of the ball game. Your final score, once again, Clark County 89, Harrison County 56. Cardinals improved to 2-0 on the season with a couple of 80-plus points scored games, while Harrison County, being that this is their first game of the year, will drop to 0-1. Well, he stuck with the good guys for a while as they allowed us to stay in the game with multiple turnovers, which is something I'm sure that Coach will address. But in the end, Harrison County just worn down by that pressure, and when you get worn down, both sides of the ball are affected. So we'll take a break, figure up the stats, come back and tell you what they're like for the post-game show brought to you by Dustin Rose at Farm Bureau. All that coming after this timeout. Once again, your final score, Clark County 89, Harrison County 56. You've been listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. here at the Hilltop. Harrison County falls in their lid lifter of the season by a final score of 89-56 to a pretty darn good Clark County squad that just a relentless pressure, just finally got us. And they're a good team. There's just no doubt about it. They are a very solid basketball team, and no wonder that they're predicted to probably win the 10th region for a second year in a row, as they just have lots of weapons, good inside game with Trent Edwards, good outside game with Wellman, and just an overall great player in Morton. And that's a lot of talent to have on just one team. But in any case, the Breds did play well until I think they Plano just got tired. And once that happened, it was all over, as they say, as the Breds just let the Cardinals get way too many easy buckets down the stretch. But in any case, game number 1. Got lots more games to play, and hopefully, and I'm sure we'll get better, especially after Richard Harris and Ian Boland get healthy again. Those two players being out really hurt us tonight. Harrison County trailed by just 3 points at the half, 33-30, but pretty much just instantly, the Cardinals went on an 11-2 run to go up by 10 at 44-34. But then the Thoroughbreds got back into it again and trailed just 48-42 with 3:13 left to go in the third quarter. But that is when we hit the wall, almost literally, as the Cardinals went on a 31-6 run to change what was a 48-42 Harrison County deficit to they then trailed at the end of that stretch 79-48. But that's the story of the ball game. We'll take a look now at the scoring. First, for Clark County, they placed 3 players in double figures, led by Jerome Morton's 25. And I tell you what, Jerome Morton, Justin Becker's a pretty darn good ball player, but I'm not so sure that Jerome Morton might be just a tad bit better. But both of them are very talented, that's for sure. Those 25 points equals a career high for Morton as well. He had 25 points last year against Bath County. 19 points for Trent Edwards, as he had a double-double, 19 points and 10 rebounds. Those 10 rebounds paced his team also. He's just a long and lean and aggressive and can get to the basket pretty well, and actually hit a 3 and was close on another one. 16 points for Jared Wellman, including 3 3-pointers. Also in double figures, Aiden Sloan had 12 points. That was career high for Sloan. 7 of those 12 coming in the fourth quarter. Also scoring for the Cardinals tonight, Stanley Smothers had 6. Jeremiah Mundy had 4. 3 points on a tray by Chris Morton there towards the end, and a couple of points as well for Sammy Hernandez and Dylan Gibson. Also playing but not scoring, Reed Johnson. For Harrison County, leading the way, J.D. Sword. J.D. with a terrific night tonight, 19 points, 6 rebounds. He also had a couple of assists, so a good line for him. And don't be surprised if we may call him our Judy Construction Company Player of the Game, but we will not let that information out quite yet. But Caden Custard, a nice game as well. He had 16 points, 4 boards, and a couple of assists as well, as the freshman came in and did a nice job during his playing time in there. Those 16 points, a career high for Caden. 10 points for J.D. Kendall, as he also got to double figures on the night and played pretty well after only getting 8 games played last year. It was just good to see J.D. out there on the floor for a whole game and healthy. 6 points for Clay Carpenter, 4 points for Tayshawn Custard, and a single point for Blaine Biddle rounded out the scoring for the Thoroughbreds here tonight. Also playing but not scoring, Will Furnish, Braylon Hinton, and Gunnar Cole. That's the way the individual numbers look. We'll take a break, come back, and have Mike take a look at the team stats following this timeout. But once again, your final score from here on the Hilltop, Clark County 89, Harrison County 56. You've been listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, up here at the Hilltop, Harrison County falls in their first game of the season against a talented Clark County bunch. And did the stats bear that out?
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, I didn't want to hear that.
Especially the second half. But overall for the game, Clark County made half their shots.
Oh,
of course,
really?
they're making a lot of layups.
Yeah.
Shot the ball 74 times, made 37 of them. 10 out of 23 from the three-point line for 43%.
That's pretty darn good.
The good news is they only got 9 foul shots. And they made 5 of those for 56%. They had 14 turnovers, 40 rebounds.
40. That's
Yeah.
a lot of rebounds.
Yes, 14 of them offensive.
Ugh.
Very offensive.
I was thinking that same thing.
Yeah, rebounding. The Thoroughbreds. You couldn't wait 5 seconds for that.
Oh, hell, they told us to get out. Sorry.
65. We shot the ball 65 times.
That's a lot of shots.
Yes, it was. We didn't make the 23 of them for 35%. 2 out of 14 from the three-point line for 14%. We shot 13 foul shots and made 8. Had 22 turnovers. That's 61% from foul line, which is about what we averaged last year, I think.
I can tell you here in a minute.
But we started off so well.
Last year we hit 62%.
Yeah, so that's close. Actually, it was 61 point something.
So it was probably 62.
22 turnovers. We had 32 rebounds, 20 defensive and 12 offensive. So, you know, the fourth quarter, we just got tired.
Yes.
And you pointed out early in the game that this press, much like the one that other teams, but I remember Denny Crum potentially, used to be when Louisville would press like that, and then you wouldn't see any turnovers, and all of a sudden there'd just be turnovers everywhere.
Right.
And we had 12 turnovers in the second half. So, but 9 of them in the third quarter.
Ooh.
And that's where that's where the game
whipped.
got away from us.
Yeah.
So, first game under our hat with a couple of players that we could have used not being able to play.
Right.
So, of course, everybody's going to have that.
Oh, yeah.
This year, because with the virus and everything going around, we're going to have games we don't have enough people to play.
Yeah.
And so tonight we played an awful good team.
And this is a Clark County team that's going to win 20, 25 games. No doubt in my mind.
I don't know. The way they played and as well as they play, they'll be hard to beat by anybody.
Yeah, they will be. Like I said, they're a consensus top 20 team in the state, and we saw why tonight.
They're tall, they're quick, they're long-armed. I mean, whatever they can jump, whatever they can do. Wellman didn't particularly have a great shoot tonight, and they still made
won.
89 points.
Yeah. Well, anytime they got Jerome Morton out there, and as well as Trent Edwards played tonight, he's going to be a handful for every team.
Well, and Sloan, when he shot, we'd think good he's shooting, and it went in.
Yeah.
So
that's what good teams do.
Yeah.
They find people that you wouldn't ordinarily think would be very good players, and all of a sudden they're all-stars because they got a good group around them.
Yes.
All right, we'll take our final break, come back, and hopefully have a chat with Coach Brooks and at least name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. All that coming up after this timeout. You've been listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports.